morning and welcome to this webinar, Blueways, a new way outdoor recreation offering. My name is Marion Layden and I'm a manager on Fáilte Ireland's activities team within our product development directorate. Our team is tasked with strategic development of tourism trails and opening the outdoors for domestic and international visitors to Ireland. So we're delighted to welcome you to this webinar this morning as you're an important tourism business within one of the first accredited Blueways in Ireland. This morning we are welcoming participants from the Boyne Blueway at Trim, the Suir Blueway Tipperary and the Lough Derg Blueway as the first formally accredited Blueways in Ireland. We also welcome participants from the Árainn Mhór Blueway in Donegal, which will receive formal accreditation shortly. So this morning I'm joined by my colleagues Orla Woods and Michael Fitzsimons, both from our activities team, and Fáilte Ireland sit on the Blueway Partnership with Waterways Ireland. So we're delighted to welcome Norma Forrest, who works on the marketing team with Waterways Ireland. And last but not least, we have Aisling McVeigh, who's a tourism sales and marketing expert who joins us this morning. So over the next hour, we're going to cover the following areas. Who is the Blueway Partnership? What exactly is a Blueway? Who are the target users of a Blueway? What is a Blueway experience and how can you create one? The Blueway brand and how it fits within the broader brand architecture, business supports, and how you can make the most of your Blueway. The rivers, canals, lochs and coastline on the island of Ireland provide a vast array of opportunities for exploration and enjoyment by visitors and locals alike. The relatively recent development of Blueways in Ireland has sought to maximise on this opportunity. In late 2018, 5 state bodies with a strategic interest in the development of Blueways came together to form the Blueway Partnership. This partnership is an all-island body comprising Waterways Ireland, Tourism Northern Ireland and Fáilte Ireland in conjunction with the national governing bodies for Sport, Sport Ireland and Sport Northern Ireland. Given the massive recent success of Greenways, a similar water-orientated product called Blueways was emerging around the country. There was no formal definition of what a Blueway was, and due to the inherent dangers associated with water, the Blueway partners deemed it was critical to put a definition and an accreditation process in place for Blueways. This accreditation process opened to applications in late 2020, and in April of this year, formal accreditation was awarded to 3 Blueway destinations. We'll see a lot more Blueway destinations come on stream over the coming years, so we will have a critical mass of the product offering for our visitors to enjoy. So now I'm going to pass you over to my colleague Orla Woods, who's going to go into a little bit more detail about Blueways and Blueway experiences.
Thank you, Marion, and good morning, everyone. So what exactly are Blueways? Well, Blueways are defined as a network of approved and branded multi-activity recreational trails and sites based on and closely linked with the water, together with providers facilitating access to activities and experiences. At the core of the Blueway offering is a series of accredited and branded trails, water-based trails and walking and cycling trails with a strong connectivity to water. The on-water trails on Blueways are aimed at the dabbler or novice user. This is why it is a requirement for Blueways to have activity providers who can provide guided experiences for those with limited or no water activity skills. So this is the target customer for Blueways, the dabbler or novice. While an expert canoeist or paddleboarder will be very much focused on the activity itself, for the dabbler, the destination and all the supporting experiences play a much more significant role. So they will be looking for a Blueway experience in a scenic destination on sheltered waters with an experienced guide who can provide that reassurance that makes them feel safe and comfortable to allow them to immerse themselves in the experience. When we are promoting our Blueway to the dabbler, we need to remember they are enthusiastic, they're not experts. They want fun and enjoyable experiences, not challenging ones. The activity is not the focus of the holiday, it is a means of experiencing and exploring the destination. The supporting experiences, heritage, culture, events, local dining, accommodation, and ready-to-go itineraries play a much more significant role in the choice of destination than the activity alone. While people want different types of experiences at different stages of life, what unites Blueway visitors is that they are novices or dabblers. Blueway research undertaken in 2020 indicated that the greatest potential for Blueways lies with older families and the adult 55+ segment. Experiential tourism is travel that is motivated by the desire to connect with a place, its culture and people. Research shows that today's visitor is less concerned with just seeing or doing things. What they really want is to immerse themselves in the locale, interact with people, engage the senses, and learn the history and stories that are unique to a place. Developing experiences is all about combining natural landscape assets, tourism products, customer service, and engaging stories to create compelling consumer offerings or experiences for the visitor. When the senses are engaged, this triggers emotions and creates lasting memories. And these days, people are sharing their memories and experiences online with the whole world. So what is a Blueway experience? What are visitors expecting from a Blueway? In research undertaken in 2020, we spoke to consumers about Blueways and asked them what they were looking for. From that, the following Blueway proposition or promise was born. Blueways are Ireland's best kept secret. Fun and adventure by boot, boat or bike, on and alongside Ireland's scenic waterways, enjoyed entirely at your own pace. Stretch yourself or take it easy. Try kayaking or cycling to the nearest town for a tasty lunch, or a hiking loop through forest, hills or shoreline with stunning water views. Equally, choose to take it slow, losing yourself in a lazy canoe ride, the tranquil water is your guiding force. If you're new to Blueways, our experience guides are here to help you make the most of nature's playground. After the day's activities, relax, swap stories and laugh at your antics of the day over a well-earned meal and enjoy the local crack before a good night's sleep and the promise of a new adventure the following day. Your Blueways, your pace. Activities are the means of exploring or uncovering a destination, seeing it from a new perspective. Well, a Blueway is about much more than just the activities. It's an holistic experience: history, culture, food, accommodation, the nighttime economy. Businesses need to work together to develop packages that will attract visitors to the area, and also develop itineraries which give a variety of activity options that increase dwell time and spend. And now I'm going to hand over to Norma Forrest, who is on the marketing team at Waterways Ireland. Over to you, Norma.
Thank you, Orla, and good morning, everyone. My name is Norma Forrest, and so while Waterways Ireland is one of the 5 Blueway partners, we also have developed our own Blueways, and one of those is the Lough Derg Blueway. So I'd like to consider how the Blueways brand can relate to your business. So using the Blueway brand effectively can help you to attract new customers and bring a focus for that novice or dabbler, so those with an appetite for exploration. And I'll speak about this from the Lough Derg Blueway perspective. Waterways Ireland works with the local tourism officers in Galway, Clare and Tipperary on the Lough Derg Blueway project. So while these slides are specific to Lough Derg Blueway, the same learnings can be applied to any other Blueway. So when you consider the ecosystem of brands, it can look complicated, but it shouldn't be. Brands exist to help you target customers, and there are a number of brands at your disposal depending on your target market, and each has their own resonance and they will motivate in different ways. So in terms of the Lough Derg Blueway, you'll have perhaps Ireland's Hidden Heartlands. So that's the umbrella brand which represents the wider proposition or the regional experience. It creates the inspiration. Think of what the brand in your area represents. Ireland's Hidden Heartlands represents gentle exploration in nature. In your case, this brand might be Ireland's Ancient East, which is all about history and heritage. And the Wild Atlantic Way obviously embodies wild, rugged landscapes. At the next level, you have Discover Lough Derg. So it's the destination brand which reflects all of the tourism opportunity available across the Lough Derg region. In your case, this might be Discover Boyne Valley or Tipperary tourism. And then you have the Lough Derg Blueway brand. And this brand represents the specific experience or product which is associated with that active exploration of the Lough Derg Blueway trails. So in your marketing activities, just make sure that your narrative is relevant to the brand and make sure what you're saying resonates with the audience. Social media can really help platform your business, and it's a perfect opportunity for you to showcase your offer in line with these brands. And you don't have to choose only one. But it is important to remember to use the tags and the hashtags which help drive audiences to your theme and to your business. So over the next few slides, I'll show you just examples of how not only activity providers, but also hospitality and accommodation businesses can align with those various brands and speak to their customers in targeted ways. So take, for example, Roisin, the cafe owner. So Roisin has tailored a social media post for her business, which aligns well with the Blueway. So focus on the blue call out here. It aligns with the Blueway by suggesting what could be better than a warming bowl of soup after a refreshing Blueway paddle. So in that case, Roisin is tagging the developer, so it's at Waterways Ireland, and using the hashtag Lough Derg Blueway. And then focusing on the light green call out, if Roisin were to target international visitors, she would use the power of the Ireland's Hidden Heartland brand to increase her reach by talking about slow tourism and freedom to explore, and tagging, in that case, Discover Ireland and Ireland's Hidden Heartlands. Or if she were aligning with Discover Lough Derg brand. So that allows Roisin, in the dark green there, that example shows how Roisin would talk about how her cafe integrates with and relates to the overall destination experiences. So similarly for an activity provider, so this example is Dan, a bike hire operator. And here are a few examples of, again, how Dan might create messages that would resonate with particular audiences. So I suppose what's really important in this example is how Dan can benefit by bundling and packaging with other providers to create a really attractive Blueway itinerary. So you can see the examples of how social media messaging is tailored depending on the brand, the Blueway brand, Ireland's Hidden Heartlands, or Discover Lough Derg. And in turn then for accommodation providers, again, here are some ideas on how to make messaging relevant to the target audience. In this case, Patrick is making his cottage of particular relevance to a potential Blueway customer by talking about the drying room that's suitable for wetsuits and giving a sense of how cosy and welcoming his cottage is. So that's all from me. I hope this helps to show you how your business could align with and benefit from the Blueway brand. I'm going to hand over now to Aisling McVeigh. Aisling is a sales and marketing expert, and she will provide some useful marketing and promotional tips for optimizing the benefits of the Blueway for your business.
Thank you, Norma, and good morning, everybody. A very exciting initiative for you all to look forward to, especially in terms of building a hook for your business and seeing what the opportunity is for you. So really in this next section, that's what we're going to look at. So taking everything that you've heard so far today and how you can apply it within your own business to your benefit, and what are some of those benefits. So obviously the key one for any of us in business is always to try and drive revenue and of course increase it where you have the opportunity to do so. And I think this Blueways initiative is really a fantastic opportunity for you to do that in the following ways. So obviously we're going to see a natural increase of footfall because of all of the marketing that will be done around attracting people to the destination. We then have the opportunity to leverage that for our own businesses by attracting people to visit us along the way. There's also an opportunity to extend a length of stay. So for accommodation providers, in particular, how can you showcase the sheer breadth of all of the different things that you can do along the Blueway, within your proximity that could encourage somebody to stay perhaps 3 nights over 1. So there's the opportunity for you there to increase that length of stay. There's also a way for you to highlight new experiences. So perhaps you have people who've been coming time and time again, and then this is something new that they get to experience. So we would have seen with the Fáilte Ireland campaign last year, it was all around keep discovering. So, Irish people living in Ireland, doing their staycations there. Well, now we have this fantastic new destination of experiences for them to try out. With that naturally comes the incremental spend. So that's really where we're looking at all of the different possible revenue streams that we can leverage along the Blueway. So for example, Norma obviously has taken us through some fantastic cafe examples and how you could leverage social media handles and hashtags. Well, what about the actual practical product that you're selling? So there could be the physical unit of the cafe itself, where you're enticing people in, you know, to have their coffee, a bite to eat. But then what about the to-go option? Or perhaps there's an option for you to partner with an accommodation provider or a bike hire company, whereby you put a lovely picnic package together for people to take along with them. Perhaps there's merchandise that you can create, or, you know, there's maybe retail items with, you know, swimwear or things like that that people might need that they have forgotten to pack with them. So that's another opportunity to drive incremental spend. And then, of course, creating what we would call a saleable experience. So looking at those target audiences that you've been taking through this morning, seeing what aligns to your business and what you offer in terms of tastes and preferences, and how you can perhaps package and present an experience around that will resonate. A big word that we've heard today, how you will resonate with those target customers. So that's one way of looking at this increased revenue section. Then there's PR and marketing. So how you're creating new stories to drive awareness for your business along the Blueways. Obviously, PR, press, media, they're always looking for new news, and this is exactly that new news that you have to tell. So there's an opportunity there for you to align your communications to that for the upcoming period when you launch all of the lovely things that you can do relative to the Blueway, and to try and drive some PR coverage for yourself there. Of course, for your marketing as well, and how you can perhaps create some fresh content and have those hooks relevant to what it is that you can offer. Moving on then to collaboration. So the kind of increased revenue PR marketing is very much looking at your own business, but then we kind of move into this collaborative approach and kind of how we're really working together as a destination team to benefit everybody. And this is what we would call kind of strategic partnerships. So it's really trying to identify potential partners that you can perhaps bundle experiences with to again drive that increased length of stay and to really appeal to lots of different tastes and preferences amongst the target audience. And partnerships from this perspective can be either complementary tourism partners or non-complementary tourism partners. And what they mean really is, for example, complementary tourism partners could be things like, you know, bus tours, walking tours, bike hire, accommodation, attractions, activities, all of those elements. And then if you move into the non-complementary tourism, these can be things, for example, if you are an accommodation provider and you're looking at doing a Blueway inspired amenity in the guest room, you perhaps could work with local artisans to create a welcome box that features brown bread, local jam. They're non-tourism, non-complementary tourism partners, but they're still connecting you to the Blueway and what the storytelling is all about. Again, this is also another angle to create fresh content through collaboration, because you're leveraging each other's photos and videos. And again, there's a new hook there also. Then that moves on to, again, what we call cross-selling. So this is where we're all working together, perhaps to create itineraries, and those itineraries would feature multiple businesses within them. So they could be 1, 2, 3 day itineraries with lots of different places featured, and that we're all then using those to promote across our channels and cross-selling one another. You could do a destination roundup, so things kind of like the top 5 places to stop for your picnic, top 5 places for family accommodation, or to have a dip to cool down on a hot day. There's the bundled offers that we've spoken about, and of course easing placement. So if you do email marketing, is there an opportunity to dedicate a space over the coming months specifically to the Blueway, whereby you're calling out you know, a recommended partner in that space once a month? Social media, website and blogs is another place where you can cross-sell each other as well. And this is not just you cross-selling people, it's reaching out to people within your destination to see if they would be in a position to cross-sell you as well, where that makes sense. So let's now give you some top tips to get started. So what can you do in the immediate term to really start aligning with the Blueway and the brand and what it's all about to your benefit? So there's increasing the footfall and length of stay, as we spoke about, and we're going to go through each of these in detail. And there's leveraging the brand itself, how you can potentially look at creating a Blueway experience. Discoverireland.ie, a fantastic ecosystem. So if you're registered, we would encourage you to update your listing to tie in the Blueway experience, or if not, it's a great opportunity for you to register and get listed there. And then, of course, there might be an opportunity to write a blog post as well. So how could you go about increasing footfall and length of stay? So it's leveraging, as I said, the Blueway as a hook to attract people to the destination. It's really bringing it to life all throughout your communication. So have a look at your website, at your social media, at a press release, and see how you can weave in the Blueway to your storytelling, really from the immediate. Perhaps you can have a brainstorm with your team to try and come up with different ideas for a saleable experience. So many hands make light work, and it's a great way of getting buy-in from the whole team around your alignment with Blueways. Look inward. So again, really, really important. And I always suggest to people in marketing when creating experiences is to look at the target audience, identify their tastes and preferences, and see how you can align to those. It's the simplest way for you to drive impact by picking the low-hanging fruit. So really look inward and see where you identify the greatest opportunity there. And then, of course, have a look at who those potential strategic partners might be. So you could even just start by identifying 3, reach out and start seeing how you can cross-sell people within the destination also. So then moving on to leveraging the Blueway brand. So Norma, again, has taken us through some fantastic examples already today, but I would encourage you to keep an eye out for, brand-led collateral. There's also the logo. There's lots of opportunities there. Also having a look at the language that's being used by the brand so that you can, again, make sure that you're aligning to that in your own communication. So that's really important. The website landing page, so you all probably have location pages on your website that kind of summarizes whereabouts you are, how you can be found and all of that. And perhaps you do align to your destination brand in terms of, Ireland's Ancient East, Hidden Heartlands and so on. So having a look then to see how you can weave in the Blueways. And we use an example here of Ireland's Ancient East to show you how that can be done. So perhaps you might start with doing a banner and a headline. You may want to perhaps give an introduction. You may want to feature a map so that people can see all of the different areas. And then you might want to recommend some activities and attractions that people can actually take part in. So again, that's that cross-selling aspect. Perhaps there's links. So again, staying very close to the Blueways team or your own local authority to see what can be leveraged there. Looking at other areas, and then of course, if there's an option to embed the logo then into your footer also. And we have a lovely example there from the Headfort Arms Hotel, who indeed is in the Boyne Valley, and they've done a great job at aligning to Ireland's Ancient East. So it is an example that I would encourage you to have a look at and see how they've done this to perhaps provide some inspiration about how you can bring the Blueways to life on your website. And again, by doing so, your potential customers are looking at this, and it's going to entice them and motivate them and inspire them, as we've heard today, to hopefully come and stay or visit with you. Another one is to create that Blueway experience, and where do you even start? So we've picked a lovely example here from Fáilte. Obviously there's been great work done along Waterford's Greenway, and Fáilte have really leveraged that to their benefit. And they very simply put together a 2-night break with dinner. And what they do is they're calling out the value-added experiences that the hotel has to offer. So this isn't really taking up any significant investment from the hotel themselves, but they're calling out the obvious that people might not otherwise see. So they're talking about kind of the Waterford Greenway is a 20 minutes drive away. There's mapped country walks, multiple beaches, mountain and hill climbing, and then of course back to their own products themselves, access to the leisure centre treatment suites and so on. So a really lovely way, and by calling it out in the title, it's really placing it top of mind amongst the customer, and of course always helps from an SEO perspective as well for people searching for things along the Greenway to do. So then moving on to Discoverireland.ie. So probably one of the most vital things that you can do post today's session is to go in and have a look at your listing or to register here. And the reason we encourage you to do so is that Fáilte Ireland put an awful lot of investment into driving consumers to this platform. So from there, then it's our job to attract them into our business. And the reason why we would, again, motivate you to do this is that it's a huge source of driving referrals to your business. And you'll see that as we move through the next few slides. And I'm just going to call out, as we talk a lot about hashtags in today's session, is the hashtag Discover Ireland, also a great one to use in your social media communications as you move forward to benefit from this perspective. So if you're not yet listed, you can just go onto the Fáilte Ireland website under the Manage Your Listing section, and you can register there. Or if you are already listed, you can go in and update your listing again. So all done via the website here. And some tips to enhance your listing to make sure that you are really placing yourself in the best position possible and to leverage the opportunity here is to make it relevant and meaningful to the target audience. So again, going back to the data and having a look at what the audience are looking for and weaving that into your copy, weaving it into the visuals and the storytelling that you're telling through those assets. Have a think about what your unique selling point is relative to the Blueway and call that out. And think beyond just the visitor stay and try and showcase the experience from the moment the guest arrives to when they leave. What are they going to kind of smell, touch, hear, taste, all of those different things, and try and bring that to life in your listing. Make sure your contact details are up to date and linking correctly. Sounds very simple, but definitely something worth checking. And where possible, link to any domestic offers on, in terms of a landing page. So if you do create a special offer, that is linking directly to there, again, to try and help you convert the looker to booker. There's just some top tips here in the slides that you'll obviously get after. So again, when you go to write that description or to update it, some little details around ideally the character sentence, length that you should follow, what you should name check, and always write in your copy in impartial third-party language. So as if it's somebody from Lonely Planet coming in to give a glowing review of your business, that's how you want to write that from that perspective. How does all that look when it materializes? So you go into the platform here, and I, for example, have searched for attractions to do along the Wild Atlantic Way. I go into things to do, and up pop, this is just a snapshot of all of the lovely things that appear. And what really stands out to me when I do this search is the Burn Perfumery, because it's a free thing to do. Now, had the Burn Perfumery not linked to free things to do and really ensure that their listing was up to date, I may not have come across them. So from there, I click in because I want to know more, and I see lots of lovely stuff around the business, and I can actually click in to see how I can, phone the business. I can go directly through to their website to check their offers and so on. And then if we look at example of what Waterford have done again along the Greenway, is that they have, from a destination sale perspective, they've put together a foodie roundup. So again, very simply done, but just obviously takes a little bit of action and a couple of businesses coming together to put something like this together. But what this does then is that it's also appealing to the people who are looking for fantastic food and drink experiences. It's driving that F&B piece in addition to activities and attractions. So a really great way of showcasing all of the different things to do along the Greenway, and perhaps something that you can also apply for the Blueways also. And then last but not least, this brings us on to a potential blog post and what you could do here. Obviously, we all know it takes a bit of time to sit down and write a blog, and we often wonder, what is the benefit of doing all of this because it's so time consuming? Well, this is exactly why. Blogs help to drive traffic to your website through SEO. So anybody who's au fait with the basics of digital marketing, that's why it's really important, if you can, to try and blog on a semi-regular basis. You can also repurpose the content for social media. So while it might be too time consuming to put that first draft together, if you're doing a roundup, especially for top 10 things to do, you could perhaps post one of those things each week for 10 weeks. So you're able to rehash that content on another channel. It helps to convert traffic into leads, obviously, because you're being very inspirational and motivating in terms of your communication. It's going to drive longer term results. It helps with link building, obviously, and the more links that you have on your website, again, the more traffic you're going to drive, and again, you're increasing your SEO chances there. And then it helps you to share company news also. So again, thinking of that PR marketing, new news and hook piece. Anytime you have something new perhaps to share relevant to the Blueways, this is a great opportunity for you to go and share that. And like I said, making sure that you're repurposing it along the various different channels that you have. Fáilte Ireland on that have a fantastic checklist that they put together on blog posts and what you should really look for when you're compiling them. I've linked it here in the deck so that you can go and reference that tool as you work through. So a really good asset at your disposal, should I say, for you to reference as you work through. And then here we have another sample blog as well. So this is obviously the visitor centre in Waterford, and again, they're all about Crystal. It's an attraction, but they've gone and they've done a blog around how you can discover the Greenway. So completely kind of looking beyond their own four walls and leveraging the destination and the greater sell there. Again, somebody may be just looking at what they have to offer and then go and look at this and, you know, again, decide to stay a little bit longer and book a couple of more things while they're there. So great job done by Waterford, Crystal, and I think it's something that we would love for a lot of you to do if you can as well. I'm now going to show you a video. Obviously, we know from research that visual storytelling is a very impactful way, and it's one of the key factors that impacts the decision for a customer to book something. So it's really, really important, again, to consider in your communications and where you have the means to do so, that you might think about how you could create something, or even how some of you could pool together to create a video to sell your specific destination along the Blueway, and how you're showcasing how people can make the most of the Blueway while they visit or stay with you. So I'm going to show a short video here around the Waterford Greenway. So sit back and enjoy.
One, two, three, four, get my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing 5, 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all the beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out. I want to sing and shout, take a look and see a beautiful morning that turns into a beautiful evening, and together make a beautiful life. And if you wanna see, then come along with me, that's right. And if you want a good tomorrow, it's pretty simple, got a find a light to follow. And if you do, you have a future real bright. And it's a combination of consistency. Come on and say, oh, 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 oh. Come on, come on, come on and sing, yeah. Come on, come on, come on and sing. Oh, 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 oh. Come on, come on, come on and sing, yeah. Come on, come on, come on and sing. With another sunrise, it's a brand new day, so gonna make a little list to keep the worries away. I gotta dance just a little bit, move to be free. Keep my head up, don't forget to be me. Like I won $1 million, like a hit to pay dirt. Gonna smile from ear to ear, the kind that makes your face hurt. And we'll laugh, jump, sing loud, not afraid to shout about being happy, living it out. Take a look and see a beautiful morning that turns into a beautiful evening, and together make a beautiful life. And if you wanna see, then come along with me, that's right. And if you want a good tomorrow, it's pretty simple, gotta find a light to follow. And if you do, you have a future real bright. And it's a combination of consistency. Come on and sing, oh, 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 oh. Come on, come on, come on and sing.
I hope you enjoyed that video. I know I definitely find that very, very inspiring, and all I want to do now is go and book a getaway along Waterford's Greenway. So again, just to kind of spark some ideas around what you could potentially do, and you can see how it really communicates the fun, the energy, the sense of discovery that people can have, you know, along the Greenway. So I look forward to seeing some lovely videos around the Blueway as we move forward over the next while. Influencer marketing is an interesting one, and I'm sure a lot of you kind of, you know, you may have had experience with this, or you may wonder how you can attract influencers to come and experience something with you. Influencer marketing can be twofold. So it can be paid and then obviously unpaid. So where you pay an influencer, this is where you would engage with them directly or through an agent to kind of contract them to come and experience for a set fee, and in return for that there would be a pre-agreed level of coverage that they would share across their channels. When that is the case, I would suggest that it's very important that you do share your key messages with them in advance, any hashtags, handles, not just for your own business, but of course for the Blueway as well, to ensure that what's being communicated is in line with ideally what you would like to promote. That's in the case of paid. So then there's unpaid, and this also can be twofold. So there's a case where you perhaps reach out to people proactively to come and experience something with you, and in this case you're inviting them to come and experience. So there's no payment involved. So it's not like you can just you know, pre-agree set level of coverage, unless of course they open up that conversation. So it's very much like inviting the press or the media, that you're inviting them to come and experience with the hope that they have such a fantastic time that they're going to showcase something on their channels. But there isn't a guarantee, because there's no payment made, that you will receive that coverage. So just to keep that in mind. If an influencer reaches out to you and then you reactively respond, that's perhaps an opportunity for you to say, you know, yes, we would be delighted to host, but would you be able to give us XYZ in exchange? Or if you're at full occupancy, perhaps it's an opportunity for you to offer a special rate. So that's kind of how this influencer piece can work in a very top line approach. But again, it's just good to understand the metrics there, and always making sure that you select somebody who's in line with your own brand as a business, and indeed the Blueway brand. And of course, to do that, you're going back to those target audiences and essentially working with people who align with each of those different demographics. That's how we're going to resonate with our market most. So obviously today is really just the beginning of your journey. I think it's a very, very exciting journey for you all. I did call out the blog post checklist, but Fáilte Ireland have so many more resources to hand when you go to approach you know, marketing anything like this, even in terms of creating imagery and video that engages themselves, to marketing on a shoestring, all of those different things. So where you can find all of that detail is on the Fáilte Ireland Business Support Hubs. And again, there's a link here that you can go in and you can see kind of top line what that looks like, lots of different areas covered. And then also today is also just one element of lots of different trainings and supports that are available also. And again, you can see the full list of those on the Fáilte Ireland website under the upcoming support programme schedule, and that's also linked here. So hopefully we'll see some of you again at some of those in the near future. But meantime, I'm going to hand you back to Marion, and we're going to do some questions and answers, as I'm sure some of you may have some questions about what you've heard today. So back to you, Marion. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Aisling, for those valuable insights. So as Aisling mentioned there, we're going to take some questions now at the moment. So I'd like to invite all our presenters back on camera. So Aisling, there's a couple here for you first. Of all the practical marketing tips shared, what one thing would you recommend to start with?
I would suggest with creating a Blueways experience. So I think that's the most important thing to help you align to the Blueways, and of course give you something tangible that you can sell. So whether it's yourself or there's 2 or 3 other people in your business or 20, sit down and have a brainstorm and try and come up with an idea. Look at the target audience, what they're looking for, what you have to offer based on that, and then create something really nice. And of course, when you're doing so, try and see, is there scope for collaboration or is there scope to cross-sell, so that you're really pulling together as a destination to benefit everybody when doing that.
Brilliant, thank you. Another one here, I have very little budget to capture new photography and video. Any recommendations on how to create content on a shoestring?
Yes, always a great question, because photography and videography is obviously very expensive. We see from the video we've just shown you how compelling it can be. So Ireland's Content Pool is a fantastic platform by Fáilte Ireland and Tourism Ireland, and it's full of imagery and video for you to use for your business specifically. There's full usage rights. So just Google Ireland's Content Pool. You can go in, it literally takes 2 minutes to register, and immediately you'll have access to all of this fantastic content. You can search by destination, by, you know, there's some top key attractions in there, and from there you can download even so far as whether you want web res, social res, high res, and you can start to build a library from there. So that's the first tip that I would give from that instance to create content on a shoestring.
Great, thanks, Aisling. Norma, as a developer, maybe you could take this one. In what ways are Blueways different to Greenways? Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. And I think Aisling has covered a lot of examples of really good marketing in terms of Greenways. I suppose Blueways and Greenways are essentially sister brands. They both offer opportunities for active outdoor recreation, and businesses obviously can, you know, benefit by being associated with the Blueway and Greenway sort of brand and product, by aligning with those brands and offering the visitor services that are relevant to them. We've seen really good examples of that this morning. In terms of the differences, I suppose essentially it boils down to Greenways are, you know, they're a shared use trail. It's predominantly used by cyclists and walkers. So in essence, it's a land-based experience. But Blueway, by contrast, it's all about the water. I mean, Ireland has so much of it. We have wonderful lakes and rivers and coastlines, and Blueways are a real celebration of that. and we really want to, to use Blueways to maximise their potential, and to bring people to those waterways. We know that visitors love to visit waterscapes and find the experience of being, I suppose, either on or beside the water very restorative and invigorating, but I suppose not everybody wants to be on the water, so Blueways do offer that multi-activity range of trails as well. So it's exploring by boat or by bike or in your boots. It's walking, cycling, paddling. But if you're a kayak hire business, for example, the Blueway brand is an obvious fit for your business. But equally, businesses, cafes, bed and breakfasts, other businesses might also consider how they can appeal to that visitor. So they are, as I say, sisters, but they are clearly distinguished in terms of what they're offering the consumer.
Thanks, Nora. We have another one here. I haven't seen any Fáilte Ireland promotion of Blueways. Will Fáilte Ireland be promoting Blueways? Orla, would you mind taking that one?
Yeah, sure, Marion. Yes, as Aisling said, there's a huge amount of investment goes into the Discover Ireland brand and pushing that out as a location for visitors to find information. And we are working on a dedicated Blueways page at the moment, and that will link out into the individual Blueways listings in each of the destinations. So as Aisling said earlier, it's really important that those listings are all up to date and that you put in really emotive and compelling information and experiences in there. And of course, we'll also be including Blueways in any of the promotions of outdoor activities. Huge appetite for outdoor activities. We've seen that during COVID, so we'll be putting Blueway messages into outdoor activity messaging that we're doing as well.
Thanks, Orla. We have another one here. Do we expect international visitors to come to Ireland for Blueways? I might take that one. Blueways, I suppose, in themselves are not motivators, but we do know from Fáilte Ireland research that visitors want experiences on or near the water. So these are experiences that can provide a new perspective of the scenery or new ways to engage with the landscape. So it's more experiences on or near water. It's important to note that not so much in the water, and that they need to be accessible to all and have a wider appeal for visitors. So while they're not motivators in themselves, they are something that greatly add to the experience while they're here in Ireland. I don't think there's anything else coming through there. If anyone wants to drop any questions in last minute. Yeah, we have one more, so we might just take this one and then finish up. So how do we update our Discover Ireland listing? So to request to update your Discover Ireland listing, you can email listings@fáilteireland.ie and provide your current listing URL in the message box, and a member of our service team will be in touch then shortly afterwards. And another one, sorry, where can I get the Blueway Ireland logo? You should contact your Blueway developer. So that would be Waterways Ireland, Tipperary County Council, Donegal County Council, or Meath County Council in the instance today. So if you go to your developer, they can provide this, and we'll be giving details of the local Blueway providers at the end of the presentation. So I think that's all our questions for now. So thank you to our presenters this morning, and I hope our Q&A answered any questions you might have. I'm just going to close out the session now with a final few slides. So on your screen now, these are the developers behind the newly accredited Blueways. So these Blueway developers are basically, they're responsible for ongoing maintenance and management of the Blueway. So for the Lough Derg Blueway, we have Norma Forrest, who of course you've met on our webinar this morning. On the Suir Blueway, you can contact Valerie Connolly. For the Boyne Blueway, we have Fiona Fallon, and for Árainn Mhór, your contact is Noreen E. Maldonado. So One of the benefits of Blueway accreditation is that businesses that are part of a Blueway network will be offered additional business supports. Fáilte Ireland is committed to supporting the businesses in Blueway destinations to help them to maximise the opportunities that Blueways bring to an area. Business supports delivered through webinars and in-person events will cover areas such as cross-selling, developing saleable experiences, digital marketing, networking, and our local experts programme. Our regional teams will be preparing more supports for Blueway businesses, and these will be rolled out in the autumn after the peak season. So please make sure that you're signed up to Fáilte Ireland's e-sign and make contact with your local representative to make sure that you don't miss out. So going forward, your Blueway network sits within Fáilte Ireland's regional structures. So our tourism officers in each of the regions are your point of contact, and they are here to support your business and to assist with any needs you might have. So for Ireland's Hidden Heartlands, we have Tony Dawson, who looks after Lough Derg. Karen Carruthers is your contact for the Suir Blueway. Charlene Boyle for the Árainn Mhór Blueway. And we have Marie McCormick for the Boyne Blueway at Trim. So our regional teams will be working with you and the wider stakeholders to optimise the opportunities that businesses present to your local area, and they're on hand for any local advice you might need and to keep you abreast of developments. So that brings our webinar to a close this morning. We'll follow up to provide you with the slide deck from the webinar. I'd like to thank our presenters for their contributions and to especially thank you, the participants, for your time in attending. I hope that you found it to be a useful session, and if you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to contact us. Thank you.